I'm going to talk about a couple things in Ecclesiastes. This is going to be like a 60-second point, and then I'm going to make it my main point. So this isn't the main point, but this is something I know we all know, but I just want to remind ourselves of. It was in Ecclesiastes 5:10. It says, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This also is vanity." Okay? I just want to remind all of us that y'all know I appreciate money. I enjoy money. I am all about helping you guys feel freedom to pursue having more money. Okay? You guys know that, right? Nod your head up and down. I'm all about like this is an environment I try to make intentionally weird where you talk more about money than maybe you have in an entire like in a day or a week more than you have like years being in the church, okay? Because I'm trying to make this like a hyper focus because most churches and environments don't feel like they can talk about the benefits of money and the goodness of money and the freedom to pursue money. Does that make sense, everyone? Like, I don't know about you, but for me, most of my church sermons around money were about the dangers of money or just giving, which those are both important things to talk about, but the Bible talks a whole lot more about money than just the dangers of money and giving. You guys with me? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? I know everyone here has a different church experience. I'm just saying that that's been my experience. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. That's just been my experience. Those are two sermons I hear a lot of. I don't hear a lot of sermons around like why you should want to be rich. Why it's God's will for you to have wealth. And even then there's places that teach on that stuff, but then they get weird about it and they get kind of like prosperity gospelish and don't talk about suffering and don't talk about and make it sound like, hey, if I just give more money to the church, then I'm going to be rich and wealthy and just give us all your money. So that's not what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to remind us of all of this that chasing wealth cannot be the end goal. Okay. It's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. Like no matter how much you put in there, it's just never going to feel like it's enough. Okay. So money in and of itself cannot be the ultimate goal. Now we're going to set financial goals. We're all going to do that. But guys, like we're never ultimately going to get true satisfaction from what's in our wallet, what's in our bank account, what's in our 401k. Amen. Like it's never going to happen. Okay. It's never going to happen. Now, I can tell you being a Christian and also having money makes life a lot of fun. But I know plenty of people that pursue money as an ultimate goal and they never find Jesus and they're miserable. Okay. So we can have both. And I would argue that like the coolest thing and the most most fun things in the world is having Jesus, already having that satisfaction, that desire met, that eternal life. And then you're like, oh man, let's just throw some money in there. Oh man, now life is really cool because now you can do all the cool Jesus things that you have because you have money or you want to do because you have money. Does that make sense? So I just want to remind us of that when we're setting goals, everything has to ultimately come back down to how can I glorify Jesus more in my life? How can I make a bigger kingdom impact in my life? How can we transform lives? Because I can just tell you guys, like it's there comes a point financially where you're like, you know what, this just isn't doing it for me anymore. And it has to be so much bigger than you. It has to be about how is this going to make an eternal ripple, right? How is this going to be something that transforms like the nations for knowing the glory of Jesus? So I'll give you guys an example. Like when Shelly and I were coming up with the at cost metals training stuff and we were giving that to you guys, yeah, I was like, we just kept going back over and over. I'm like, it can't be about us, right? This has to be about like how by pouring more time and money into this, is this going to lead like millions of people more to Jesus? Is this going to make a more eternal impact? It has to be about that. Otherwise, what's the point? It can't just be about how is this going to make us money. It's like it can't be the point. It has to be how is this going to help our people, and then by helping our people, how is this going to set millions of people free? You guys picking up what I'm laying down? You tracking with me? So give me some like thumbs up or head nods. Okay, great, awesome, great. Okay, cool. Just making sure I'm still here. So again, ask yourself like, am I obsessed with the glory of Jesus in my goals? Like, is it about the Lord? Because guys, I understand when you're in like survival, some of you guys are like more thriving a little bit more. Some of you guys are more surviving. It's okay. I've been to both. Okay. And I've been back and forth many times. So I understand. But just ask yourself as you're resetting your goals, like, am I trying to be satisfied with money as the goal? Or am I making Jesus the goal and his glory the goal and the impact and his name and his renown being spread across the globe. Because the whole point of a Christian, like our whole mission and vision and purpose for existing, is to know Jesus and to make him known. That's the point. Because you'll never, one of the things you'll see in Ecclesiastes is there's this vanity and this meaningless of life, which is a real thing, of you can build up all of this money. And there's situations even in Ecclesiastes where, it's like this person gets rich and they have all this wealth, and then something happens and they never even get to enjoy it. And the reality is this: I want all of you guys to build up a retirement, but there also is a real sense of vanity in the fact that some of you, hopefully not anyone here, but there's going to be people that literally spend 30, 40 years, which I recommend doing this, okay? Building up a really big nest egg. You guys know I'm all about that. I recommend having millions and millions of dollars in your retirement by the time you need to retire. But there are going to be people that do that, and the moment they go through, they go to take advantage of it, they croak and they're done. And if you make your whole mission and vision in life just to become as rich as you possibly can, and that's the only reason you want money, just to have more comfort and more satisfaction, and you're making it about you, it's not going to fulfill you or satisfy you ultimately, number one. And number two, you're missing the whole point. Okay. I want you guys to get ridiculously rich for the kingdom. Because I know if your goal is to make an eternal impact and you guys get rich, you're going to take that money and you're going to do incredible things. Well, for one, I believe your lifestyle is going to be one that is more attractive to people because you're not in fight or flight and scarcity and greed and envy and all of these different things. But I also believe you're going to be able to give more and serve more and do more for the kingdom. Okay. So that's the real goal. So I just want to take a moment and just ask yourself, like, as you guys have your goals, many of you are looking at your 10 reasons why. We talk about that as your first assignment when you come into any of our stuff. Like, what is your goal? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to serve? How do it's so, and guys, it's okay to have a car, a cool car. It's okay to have a cool house and all those things, but I would encourage you guys, it needs to, like, everything you ultimately want, like, how is this going to glorify Jesus more? How is this going to make a more eternal impact? How is this going to lead more people to Christ? How can I use this for the gospel? You know, if you want a big mega mansion and that's one of your goals, like I do, it's like that's totally cool. But like, one of the reasons you might like, I want that is like so that I can be more hospitable to people. I can maybe adopt more children. I can do this. I can do that. Like, how can I use it? It can be a refuge and a safe place and a like a restorative place for missionaries or people that need rest. So take a moment and I want you guys to really reflect on, number one, like, am I just pursuing money, or am I actually ultimately wanting money for the sake of something greater than myself that will further God's purposes on this earth? Does that make sense? That was my side point that I said 60 seconds. Sorry. Oh, wait, I see Josh has submitted something. We'll see. Okay. I love it. All right, Josh, you win. You get the points. That was perfect. Great summary. Love that you applied it. This guy is hungry, y'all. This guy loves to take notes. It's like my professional note taker. He's one of them. Him and Sharonita, I think, might be the ones who are always on it the most. Okay. So that was my little side rant. So just take a moment and ask yourself that question, like, is my true north, is my true purpose, is my true mission, is it all about the glory and the renown and the mission of Jesus to go and make disciples? And how can I use my money to be like little missionaries that go out and help me make disciples? Okay. That's really what I'm trying to get to. Does that make sense, everybody? Like, that's what I want. And the cool thing about money is it really can be that. Like, dollars can be missionaries for you. They really can. Like, your money can go out and you can do so much more than you could if you didn't have it. So that's that. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about was also in Ecclesiastes. And this was because I want some of you guys are suffering in our community and you don't need to be because you're trying to do life alone. Wah, wah, wah. Of course, of course. You're like, well, that's not me. I didn't say it was you. But there's some people, and this is a theme I've noticed lately, and I just want to remind you guys this, okay? So it's in Ecclesiastes. Let's see. Where'd it go? It's called a power pause in public speaking, guys. Just enjoy the pause. Oh, that's where it went. Okay. All right. It's chapter 4, verse 9. So if you want, you can flip to it, or you can just listen to me. I will soothe you. All right. It says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. And I'll read this twice, by the way, just so you guys know. So don't get freaked out if you're like, I don't get it yet. It's okay. I have to, Ecclesiastes is one of those books I have to read sometimes multiple times for me to understand what the heck he's talking about. Okay. Two are better than one, for they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Okay, I'm going to read this one more time. I'll even do it in a different translation, see if it helps you guys a little. I'll read from the Net Bible on this one. Okay. Two people are better than one because they can reap more benefit from their labor. For if they fall, one will help his companion up, but pity the person who falls down and has no one to help him up. Furthermore, if two lie down together, they can keep each other warm, but how can one person keep warm by himself? Although an assailant may overpower one person, two can withstand him. Moreover, a three-stranded cord is not quickly broken. Okay, here's my point. Some of you are we love you, but I'm inviting you to allow yourself to no longer be alone and to put yourself out there a little bit more because two people are better than one. So how can I get another ace, another ride or die, another companion, another compadre, another person on my side on this journey to financial freedom? Well, for one, you could try to recruit somebody in your life that maybe you've not been recruiting because you were afraid of rejection. Feel like that was for somebody here. Okay. So that could be something, right? Two, what could it look like practically? Everyone here has access to coaches, right? This is something that came from our debt free millionaire call last Thursday. Is that there were a few of you guys that was shared, which so vulnerably, which is beautiful, just saying, "Hey, I haven't been reaching out and asking for help." Right? Maybe you're afraid of what we might say or what we might, criticize or something or whatever. But everyone who did was like, man, I feel so much better. I wish I would have done this sooner. I wish I would have just asked the question. I wish I would have showed up. Right. So, my invitation is, will you let us be at least like everyone on my team, right? Somebody to be there for you, to warm you if it gets cold outside. Okay. Because it can get a little cold sometimes and it's getting in winter. So we want to be here to support you. We want to be a part of that three-stranded cord that's not quickly broken. If you're finding yourself, man, I feel like I keep falling apart. I feel like I keep being overpowered by life's challenges. Are you doing life alone, or do you have rock solid people in your corner that can swing some fists, that can swing some hammers, that can throw down like WWE SmackDown whenever things go down. Okay. I don't know if anyone else grew up watching wrestling, right? This like the cheesy WWF, anybody? I'm like, okay, there we go, Joseph. You know who I'm talking about. But it's like, if all of a sudden the Undertaker, walks in, it's like, do you want to be there in the corner by yourself, or do you want to have your tag team there? Guy, Rick Inferno, whatever they're gonna call him, okay? And then like if I get worn out, I got someone else to pick me up. So I'm just inviting you guys, like ask yourself, am I doing this more alone than I need to be? Or could I reach out a little bit more? Could I get a little bit support? Could I ask for some accountability? Something that's been beautiful is I've seen people going like, hey, like I would love to be your accountability buddy. Okay. So again, you need whoever walks the wise becomes wise, Proverbs 13:20. If you're going to let people in your life, you need like that. Okay, someone who's going to be that companion, that person that's better than just you because you want to reap more from your labor, which is really true. They need to be wise, okay? They need to not be foolish. But if you see someone else who's wise, like could you invite them a little bit more into your life? You guys know we do the good and faithful games. A Debt Free Millionaire, we even have teams. Like, are you opening up to your team or are you isolating yourself? Are you joining the little chats that are being set up for people, or are you doing that? Are you showing up to the coaching calls? Again, I'm just asking you to consider that maybe the reason why, if you feel like you've been knocked down a lot and it's been hard, it's been difficult, you're like, man, I'm cold, I'm lonely, I'm thirsty. It's like I keep getting beat up. I don't feel like I'm benefiting much from my labor. Well, his encouragement to you, right? Solomon's encouragement to you is like, don't do it alone. If you would invite someone else into this process, you're going to be more the right people. Now, the wrong people can make it worse, right? But the right people, it should be a force multiplier. This is why when people are like, marriage is so hard, you get two sinners coming together. I'm like, no, if you marry the right person, it's a force multiplier. Like marriage should actually make you more productive, more effective, more fruitful for the kingdom. Same thing, right, with the right companions. Like Shelly and I are doing all this at cost metal stuff. Like she's extremely brilliant, high integrity, whatever. I mean, I'm just like literally, we're reaping more from the labor than if I had just been doing it myself. Like we're getting so much more out of this. So I just want to encourage you guys to really, and some of you guys are posting this. This is really good. Let me see. Yeah, Margot, I love that. Post it. Share it with everybody here. Be vulnerable. This is good. Okay. I love that, Cassandra. I love that. Is this you? Okay, guys. Yeah. Now, listen, some of you, I just want to empathize with you. Some of you, how many of you grew up in a household where maybe you felt a little neglected and when you needed help, it wasn't there for you? When you needed someone to be there for you? Okay. At least one person, honest person. Okay. I got like a half. There you go. Joseph, Trace. Okay. Some of you guys have been conditioned, or maybe like how many of you guys like asked for help for certain people in your life or mentors or people that were critical, pastors, friends, whatever, and when you thought they were going to have your back, you felt stabbed in the back. Okay? Okay, so a lot of you. So I get it. We put heart armor up, okay? And I understand. I understand. Your heart gets wounded, you're like, "Ooh, I'm going to fortify this sucker. I'm going to put some titanium around this thing. I'm not going to let anyone in." Okay, but just like fighting a war, you would never fight a war in a castle without a gate. Every castle has to have a gate. Walls are helpful. Some of you guys are a little too open. Sometimes I let a little too many people in on my own business and what's going on. Some of you guys need to be like, oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to talk about that. Right. But you need to have a gate. Every castle has to have a gate. Okay. Like the Lord of the Rings scene, my favorite one, all the elves or the whatever come over the hill and then they come rushing in the gate when they're about to lose all the orcs. It's like you need to have a way to let people in. And I guess again, if I could just recap everything I'm saying here, is I feel like some of you need to let some more backup into your life, right? You need to let some more homies into your life, You're in the dark alley and you got five guys trying to post up on you and get out and you're like you're trying to fight alone. I know you might be able to do it alone because you're a beast. I understand that. Some of you guys are like, "You don't know me, Jeremy. I've proven to myself I don't need help." I bet I know you're strong. I'm not talking saying you're not strong. I'm not saying you're not effective. You're not enough. But what I'm saying is that if you want to be more effective, you have to link yourselves up with really powerful, high achieving, go getters, godly, high, like self accountable, righteous people. So this could look like and like opening up more to your coaches that are in this program and asking for more help and just waving the white flag. We had some people do that this week, like, hey, I'm suffering, like I need help. And we just reached out and we were like, hey, let's get, and we worked on it and we fixed it. And we're like, wow, I feel so much better. That's what happens because two people are better than one, for they can reap more benefit from their labor. Okay. You can reap more out of this program if you don't do it alone. You can get more results in your life if you're not trying to do it alone. Because if you fall, someone's there to lift you up. But woe to him who is alone when he falls. Some of you guys are falling and we have no idea. You're like those 98-year-old people that don't have that little thing that's wrapped around their neck where they can click the button and 911 calls. You don't have that button. And you're not pressing the button and you're sitting there falling and you've been lying on the floor, the kitchen floor for 5 days, starving, and nobody knows that you're even on the floor. Let us know that you're on the floor. Hit the little button. Do we need to get little, coaching buttons? You guys, should we ship that to you in the mail? Those ones you can just put them around your neck at all times. You just click the button and it'll send in a help ticket or something. we could work on that. Rachel, get to work on that. See what we can do. Okay, guys, we're happy. Okay, so we're just an email away. We're a support away. For a Facebook post away, whatever. Like, but also reach out to other people in this group. There's people here that genuinely want to help you, and some of you also feel like, well, it's just me. Nobody gets what I'm going through. If I had $1 for every time someone said, you don't understand. Let me just real quick. Let me give you another recap. Can you guys all come on video, as many of you as possible, just for like 2 minutes? Okay. I just want to prove a point here. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Okay. So I see a lot of good looking people. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I just want to prove a point here. We have a lot of people that might not even want to open up about hard things because they feel a lot of shame, or they're like, I'm the only one who's gone through something like this. Okay. Raise your hand if you're like, I'm willing to be vulnerable and make this a safe space. Okay. No one's going to get judged. Okay. Raise your hand if you've been abused in your life in some way, sexually, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Okay. Look at how many hands are up. Okay. I'm just trying to prove a point. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. We get that a lot. Like, well, you don't understand. I've been sexually abused. You don't understand. I've had someone betray me. You don't understand. I've had my partner cheated on me. You don't understand. I did. And guys, this is normal stuff. Welcome to being alive in this country, in the world. Everyone's going through stuff. Okay. How many of you guys have a secret that is so dark and so scary to say out loud that almost nobody knows about it because you're afraid of what people would think if they knew? Raise your hand. Okay. Almost every hand. Guys, we all have junk. We all have skeletons. We all have issues. My invitation is just don't be afraid to let the right people in to help you work through it. Okay. You're normal. You're human. We're all here just being humaning, doing human things. Okay. We just want to help. So again, my 2 points to recap again from today is: one, make sure all of your goals, all of your purpose, all of your ambition is so much bigger than just money, that ultimately you are thinking, man, how can I have an eternal like ripple effect for the kingdom and everything that I'm doing? Because that's what's going to ultimately drive you more than anything else, in my opinion. If you're filled with the Spirit and you love Jesus. If not, it's not going to matter to you. If you're filled with the Spirit, you love Jesus, like that's going to be the thing that drives you to work your butt off when you don't feel like it, because you're so just thinking about eternity. And one day I'm going to stand before the judgment seat. One day I'm going to stand before, I want to hear well done. I want to hear well done. I want to hear good and faithful servant. Okay. Second point again is two people are better than one. Okay. Like, who do you need to let in to lift you up? Who do you need to invite into your life just a little bit more so that when you fall, when you're cold, when you're being beat up, you've got someone there to help you? And the practical application of that could look like right now, reach out to someone in this program, or ideally even a coach. Okay, somebody here, and just say, hey, even if you're like, I don't even know what I need to know, but I just know it's not working and I need some help. Can someone just take a peek into what's going on? Can we help you? Are you guys cool with that? Sound good? Awesome. Okay.